Okay, guys, today we're going to be starting Chapter 4, dealing with the skin, commonly known as the integumentary system. So, let's talk about body membranes first. Now, the basic function of these is to cover our body surfaces, line the body cavities, so the cavities that we talked about back in Chapter 1. We have specialized membranes that line those, and then also to form protective sheets around organs. So when we classify them, we have two major groups, the epithelial membranes and the connective tissue membranes. Epithelial containing the cutaneous, mucous, and serous, and the connective including the synovial. We're going to talk in detail about each of these now. So the cutaneous membrane being the skin, this is a dry membrane. It's the outermost protective boundary of the body. Okay, it's the superficial epidermis is composed of keratinized stratified squamous epithelium. We talked about that in Chapter 3 on Lesson 3.5, and the underlying dermis is mostly dense connective tissue that will connect the skin, as we commonly call it, to the other tissues underneath, primarily being muscle. So we see it just being the outer covering of the body. So let's move to mucous membranes. Now, mucous membranes, their surface epithelium type depends on the site. So in the mouth and the esophagus, we have stratified squamous, and then we have simple columnar in the rest of the digestive tract. So that's going to be the bronchioles, trachea, all the way down to the lungs. Now, the underlying loose connective tissue is going to be found underneath that. Now, this is going to line all body cavities that open to the exterior body surface. Okay, so the lungs, the digestive tract as well. They're often adapted for absorption or secretion. Okay, that mucosa or mucus being secreted and also can be absorbed. Okay, so we see this both right here in the digestive tract and also in the lungs. Now, serous membranes, their surface is a layer of simple squamous epithelium, and their underlying layer is areolar connective tissue. It's going to line body cavities that are closed to the exterior of the body. So we saw just a second ago that the respiratory tract right here is going to be mucous membrane, but the cavity itself, the thoracic cavity, where the lungs are found, is going to be lined with serous membranes. Now, they occur in pairs separated by serous fluid, and they have two layers, the visceral layer, which covers the outside of the organ, and then the parietal layer, which lines a portion of the wall of the ventral body cavity. So when we look at this, we have this analogy of a fist being pushed into, we'll say like a beach ball that's almost flat. So this outer wall, this is the parietal layer, and this inner wall is going to be the visceral layer. And then this space in between, this is where we find our serous fluid. Okay, so we find it around the heart, and we name these based for where they are. Pleura for the lungs, pericardium for the heart. Okay, so we have specific serous membranes. We have the peritoneum. This is found in the abdominal cavity, the pleura around the lungs, and the pericardium around the heart. So a cross section here will identify all of these. We can see the peritoneum here. If we were moving to the thoracic cavity, again, we would find the pericardium and the pleura. Okay, so lastly, we have our synovial membranes. This is connective tissue only. And it lines fibrous capsules that surround our joints, our synovial joints, and it also will secrete a lubricating fluid. Now, we need these to help with the forces that are being pushed against each other here. So we have this synovial membrane here that produces that. It's nice and smooth. It's going to keep the bones from rubbing together. Okay, and this is going to be what's called the articular capsule. Okay, we have this hyaline cartilage right here, and all of this fluid within gives us some cushioning support. Now, in old age, these can very easily break down. If you have any questions, just make sure to post them in the comments below, or you can email me at mr.tucker.schs@gmail.com.